Since the beginning of recorded human history, thousands of different hierarchies and evolutions associated with the advancement of humans have existed. From the Whip Party to the modern Republican Party, it is evident that reform is necessary to keep nations in check. In a similar way, video game lore showcases ancient governments through text and sometimes actively presents new governments. This often leaves players theorizing about who could win what battle or what socio-economic issues will plague the next game, and in Core Keeper, it is a much harder task because the only characters that talk are normally friendly non-player characters. To uncover the lore of one of the most common enemies in the game, we cannot analyze an ancient text explaining away their traits just yet, so I'm just gonna make up my own hypothesis about it based on observations in the game so far. That is, the slimes in Core Keeper are not just ordinary enemies, they represent the remnants of different ancient and complex civilizations that they have taken form over time. The slimes in Core Keeper might be both reincarnations of ancient civilizations and their mutated relatives. To understand what reincarnation is, imagine you want to be a crab but were born a human. You cannot be a crab in this life, but if you do good deeds and help people around you, you will be a crab in the next life. And that is the whole idea behind reincarnation, and I will discuss how exactly that correlates with the slime shortly. Although most slimes will only be reincarnated, it is important to note that some may be entirely the result of genetic modification, hence a mutation. With that out of the way, the game hints at a rich history where their slimes were once part of a society that faced devastating wars and invasions, with cavelings leading to their current incarnation. Orange slimes are the first type of slimes encountered in the game, residing in a dirt biome near the player's spawn point. Interestingly, the slimes are pacifists and do not attack players on sight. However, they do engage in conflicts with cavelings and larvae, suggesting historical political tensions. It is possible that orange slimes were once peaceful civilians who became victims of these larger conflicts, or even civilians who fell underground just like the player who just did the core's bidding, until it snapped and killed them until its next victim fell into the hole, causing the civilians to reincarnate to seek revenge on the core, but got defaulted to being a slime, where the process would repeat over and over for millennia, and you would be no different by the end of the game. Although that is just conjecture, there is evidence to support them having their own system of trade with ancient gemstones like humans. That is, the presence of seeds, fungal soil, scrap parts, and ancient gemstones in the slime may indicate the presence of ancient life prior to their reincarnation as slime. Red slimes, unlike the orange counterparts, are aggressive and attack players immediately. This behavior suggests that they might have been defenders of the orange slime civilization, always ready to fend off invaders like cavelings who plagued their society before they died. Furthermore, this indicates a society that had both peaceful inhabitants and warriors, adding a layer of complexity to their history. Royal slimes are 10 times more powerful than orange slimes, organized under a monarchy with a king slime wielding armaments. In a way, this makes them the evolution of the orange slimes because of their correlation in terms of strength. However, their color suggests they are much more closely related to the red slimes because they are a primary color just like them. Furthermore, the presence of a king slime indicates that they learn to guard their kingdom fiercely through evolution and adaptation. Purple slimes reside in the Azios wilderness, indicating an evolution between the orange slimes and blue slimes because purple is not a primary color. However, the same hypothetical is true of blue and red slimes, gaining unique traits such as poisoning their enemies. This mutation could have developed as a defense mechanism, showing how these creatures adapted to their hostile environment, making the blue and red hypothetical more plausible due to the presence of past defense mechanisms in red slimes and blue slimes. Not only that, but they are potentially closer to the Azios wilderness than orange slimes. Furthermore, they also crafted items like the Remadaisy necklace and Ivy's ring, indicating they retain some crafting knowledge from their past lives, just like each of the slimes discussed here. Blue slimes likely evolved from royal slimes, but with a cooler blue hue. Over time, enough blue slimes reproduced to create a dominant light blue slime as a ruler that spawned offspring of its own. This evolution suggests a splintering of the slime society, where one group became less intertwined with the reincarnation and more entwined with mutations of animals with no real values beyond living their lives. Lava slimes found in the molten quarry probably had the toughest past. They were likely assassinated by caveling assassins in the evilest way possible, because they became burn victims but had no way to access water since they were in a desert and reincarnated in the harsh environment of molten lava. Their aggressive nature and harsh living conditions suggest they were constantly running away from the cavelings until they snapped and started fending for themselves. Unfortunately, they got overpowered by the cavelings despite their initiative. They crafted rings of fire to protect themselves, indicating a highly defensive and vengeful nature prior to their deaths. In summary, the slimes of Corekeeper represent a tragic history of civilizations that rose and fell and usually got reincarnated. They show a range of societal structures from peaceful communities to monarchies and autocracies. Their evolution and behavior hinted a complex past filled with conflict, adaptation, and survival. It's also worth noting that each of them has their pet variants that can be tamed and fed real food just like a real creature would want in real life, indicating that some sentience is still left in them. These slimes are not just mindless enemies, they are the remnants of a once great civilization now reduced to blobs of goo trying to survive in the harsh underground world of Corekeeper. If you made it this far into the video, then congratulations. You can subscribe to me or beat the like button like you would your meat whenever you are making a hamburger. And if you like me even more, consider giving me money or not. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be real, I'm trying to work on my writing skills, but all the advice I've gotten is to literally go against everything they teach you in school. So if this video sucked like the others that will be uploaded alongside it, don't worry, I will improve in time. Bye.